As many of you know, the city of San Diego is facing a significant budget deficit of $350 million, one of the largest in our city's history. This didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of underfunding, rising costs, and an unstable national economy. It's a problem that's been building for decades, but it's now ours to solve. To try to do that, last month I presented the City Council with a proposed budget that was responsible, strategic, and, most importantly, balanced. It made real progress towards closing this long-standing structural deficit. It included cuts that I did not want to make, but were necessary to meet our legal obligation to balance the budget and put San Diego on a path toward long-term fiscal stability. When I presented that plan, I was clear. Any new spending would need to be matched with other cuts or with reliable new revenue. Unfortunately, the budget the City Council adopted last Tuesday doesn't meet that standard. It adds tens of millions of dollars in new spending without a credible plan to pay for it. Much of it is based on revenue assumptions that the Council's own independent budget analyst has said are overly optimistic and unlikely to materialize. Some additions are simply not feasible to implement. Others contradict stated priorities, like claiming to reduce executive staffing while then creating new six-figure management positions. And some are just tone deaf, like restoring nearly $1 million in discretionary funds for council offices while then cutting services in neighborhoods across the city. That's not responsible budgeting. It's making promises we may not be able to afford or keep. Let me be clear. If the council's assumed revenues don't materialize, and all signs suggest they won't, we will be forced to make more painful cuts just a few months from now. That could mean layoffs, full library and rec center closures, fire station brownouts, and fewer road repairs. That's not the future that I want for San Diego, and I don't believe it's what the council wants either. As mayor, I cannot in good conscience allow a budget built on shaky assumptions to move forward, not when we're facing national economic uncertainty, global instability, and real threats to the federal and state funding we rely on. Just last Friday, the state passed a budget that eliminates funding for a key program we've used to fund our homeless shelters. And the current presidential administration continues to push proposals that would increase costs and reduce funding for cities like ours. If ever there were a time to be cautious and clear-eyed, it's now. Kicking the can to avoid tough decisions today only guarantees deeper consequences tomorrow. That's why, under the authority granted to me by the city charter, I am using my line item veto to restore balance to the budget. At the same time, I am accepting several council additions that align with our shared priorities and that we can afford to support. This includes the added funding for rec center hours, branch libraries, and city lakes, services that I know matter to San Diegans. It is true that the council has the authority to override my veto, but I urge them to accept this compromise, a budget that restores essential services without overcommitting the city's finances. San Diego is my hometown, and I love this city deeply. I ran for mayor to make tough calls when needed and to put San Diego on stronger footing. That's exactly what I'm doing today. This action protects public safety, preserves jobs and neighborhood services, and, if we stay disciplined, makes it less likely we'll face a deficit like this again in the years ahead. This is the better way forward for all of us. Thank you.